Hi, I'm Katie Farrell with Dashing Dish, and today I'm going to teach you a simple way to nourish not only your soul but your body with my 15-minute taco skillet. And this is one of my favorite weeknight recipes because I'm a mom of an 18-month-old little girl, and I have not only an 18-month-old but a very picky husband at home, and so I have to find ways to kind of sneak veggies in to a lot of my dishes. And I love this recipe because it's very simple to make, and like I said, you can do it on a really busy weeknight. I started here with just some ground turkey, and I use lean ground turkey in a pan, and I just am going to turn it up to medium-high here. And what you want to do here with the turkey is just get it so it's broken up in the pan, and you can see I've already started to do that, and then brown it up a little bit just to the point that you can see that most of it's cooked up to the point that it's brown, and that's how you know it's almost cooked through. Once it gets to this point, you can add some seasoning. So we have some taco seasoning that I actually just made myself. You actually don't even need to buy taco seasoning. Sometimes it's simple, but you can just add some cumin, some chili powder, garlic powder, and salt, and that's it. I did a half teaspoon of each of those, and those are all really good flavors that go into anything that's a Mexican-inspired dish. So now once I finish cooking this off, then you'll see that the seasonings will flavor it right up. And the tricky veggie part is coming up next. And what I love is, like I said, any place that you can kind of hide vegetables is sometimes what we need to do, especially as busy moms. We want to give our kids and our family something nutritious in their meals, but it's not always going to pass the test with picky eaters. And so sometimes we do have to hide them a little bit. So once that meat is cooked up, and it looks like it is, and all browned through here, we will take it off the heat and we will put it into a dish. And it's really simple because you don't have to bake this at all. Just like I said, it's a 15-minute recipe, and that's because everything can be made right in a saute pan on your burner. So the veggie part is we are going to cut up some zucchini and some bell pepper, and these are really good flavors that kind of don't give a whole lot of taste to anything. You can actually grate up the zucchini so that it really truly is hidden in the recipe here. But I'm gonna just cut it up pretty fine. And the great thing about zucchini is it really does just take on whatever flavors of the dish that you add it to. It doesn't add a whole lot of flavor. So a lot of times, really picky eaters doesn't even know it's in there. I'm gonna turn the heat down of my burner over here a little bit. We're going to finish cutting up the zucchini, and like I said, you can actually grate this just so that it's super fine and so that no picky eaters even know that there's zucchini in there. So I'm going to add this to my skillet that's already warm, and I just use the same skillet that I used for my meat. And you know, really, I'm all about saving time in the dishes, but also not making a whole lot of mess because I really don't love to do dishes all day long. So I just use one skillet for this whole recipe. Then for my bell pepper, you can see how I just cut along the top there with a paring knife, just a small knife, and then you just pull the whole top out, and that way you don't even have to pull any of the seeds out or anything like that. And then I'm going to take just half of this bell pepper, and you can do any vegetable here that you like. You can do, you know, anything that's kind of more of a firm vegetable, or you could do a tomato. You can do whatever you like. And I'm just going to dice this, and just really a rough dice. And so I've gotten Maddie to eat almost every single vegetable by just doing little tricks like this where you add it into a recipe. And it's not really the star of the show, you know, it's just kind of hidden somewhere in the different flavors of the dish. And sometimes my husband will say, okay, what is this in here? And a lot of times I'll just say, just try a bite, you know, and then I promise you'll like it. And I always joke and say that I have a picky 2-year-old for a husband because he really is like a 2-year-old. Sometimes he's more of a challenge than even my daughter Madeline is when it comes to tricking. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit, just to a medium heat. And all you want to do with these veggies is get them nice and tender and soft. And so how I do that is you could either take just a little bit of water, and that will kind of tenderize them as they cook, but I'm going to add some salsa because that will add flavor to the vegetables, but it will also soften them while they cook. So that'll take about 2 to 3 minutes or so just to kind of tenderize these veggies. And I have to tell you a funny story about my daughter Madeline. I thought that I was doomed when she was about 8 months old, and she would not try anything that I gave her. I mean, I made these exquisite baby food recipes. You know, I would do my own purees and mashes and all these different things. And I thought for sure she'll love banana and sweet potato and all these sweet flavored fruits and veggies, the ones that all the kids love. No, not my daughter. She was like spitting everything out. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm doomed. She's never gonna like anything. She won't like vegetables. But you know, I really was patient with her. And I think that sometimes we just kind of put our hands in the air and we get frustrated or say, forget it, you know, I'm just gonna stop trying with veggies or any healthy dishes. But what I did was I kept being patient and persistent and trying different ways to sneak things in. So one thing I found that she liked was applesauce. So what I did was I took applesauce and I kind of mixed it in with all of the other recipes that I would try and feed her. And so I would take some broccoli puree or some avocado and, you know, mix it up with applesauce. And then eventually I would lessen the amount of applesauce. And now to this day, she just loves broccoli and anything green, anything that a kid isn't supposed to like, she'll eat it. And it's all because I was patient and I kind of mixed things in. And so sometimes that's all you have to do. If you have kids that love tacos, you know, this dish is great and perfect for introducing some veggies because these soft, tender veggies are really kind of just hidden into the whole Mexican-inspired dish and flavors. So next I have some cauliflower rice, and I absolutely love cauliflower rice and cooking with it because it is very versatile. Just like zucchini, it kind of picks up whatever flavors you use in the dish, so it doesn't have a whole lot of flavor. It actually passes with most picky eaters as just being plain old rice. And in fact, my husband to this day still doesn't know I'm giving him cauliflower rice. And trust me, he can usually tell. But cauliflower rice is pretty easy to pass off as just plain white rice. And it's obviously much more nutritious for you. And then I'm going to add the rest of the salsa to this. And the cauliflower rice you can actually make yourself, or you can buy it now in just a steamed frozen baggie that you just buy right in your groceries freezer section. And then you pop it into the microwave and you can add it to almost any recipe. Here I just added it frozen and the heat from the skillet's just gonna cook that frost right off of there. And you can see how this is coming together, not only very tasty, but very beautiful as well. So I'm gonna add this mixture. I'm gonna add the ground beef actually to this mixture. And sometimes that's really all that it takes is just a few little tricks to kind of get veggies into your family. You know, if you have to top this with a ton of cheese, some plain Greek yogurt, call it a day. They won't know that there's veggies even in there. So I'm gonna put this back into the dish, and you can see how quick that was. So no matter how busy your weekday is, you can have a very healthy meal on the table in just about 15 minutes. I'm gonna top this with some cheese, and that will melt just from the heat from the skillet there. And then some olives, and you could top this with avocado, cilantro, anything that you like really on your tacos. You could even so much as serve this in tortilla wraps or hard shells just to kind of really disguise those veggies. But I hope these tips helped you with finding different ways you can sneak veggies into your family. And for this recipe and more just like it, you can head over to ctvn.org.